going to Capstone this evening. Started this venture when this thing called COVID did not exist. And the world, as we all know, was a very different place. It's changed drastically in the last 2 years, and that kind of change presents a lot of confusion for artists. I can just say so. I speak from not just from my own perspective, but having that shifting ground on your feet when you're trying to go ahead and figure out how you're going to go out and create and think about concepts for your projects, it's a real challenge. And I just want to say that I'm so exceptionally proud of all the folks, all of the students here tonight who have completed this amazing Capstone project. Well done. A wonderful job. I also come back to parents and friends and family who have come tonight. And I just want to thank you guys for being here. It is the sense of community to artists is so vitally important. And that's the thing that COVID has really prevented us from having for the last 2 years, is that understanding and that sense of community. So you guys being here tonight is, we're still in this weird kind of awkward between stage where we can have in-person events, but limited capacity and everything else. But you guys are really the start of that idea and that sense of community. So thanks to all of you for.
Thank you, Frederick. Next up, we have Professor Ian Haggerty. He's our Capstone professor. He's worked with these students over the course of the semester. And let's give a warm welcome to Ian Haggerty.
So I just want to speak really briefly as a way to contextualize to our audience both here and at home just what exactly Capstone is. So Capstone is the culmination of our degree programs in the School of Art Design. They're split into 2 degrees, so we have the BA and BFA. So we have students from both of those degree programs who enroll in this course. This course is really unique as it's the culmination of all of their individual experiences, with the difference being that for Capstone, the idea is that they are to create their own work from materials to techniques to conception. Where prior to Capstone, there's always some kind of an assignment or objective that's clearly stated by the faculty for any given class. So Capstone is an opportunity for the students to create their own objectives, create their own ideas, their own expressions. It also serves as kind of the ending point for the degree here at Marshall, but also it serves as kind of a springboard into their professional futures. So oftentimes, the work that we see here in the Capstone exhibitions is the launching pad for their professional portfolio, whether they want to go into their own business or career, that sort of thing. And so the other thing that I want to say that kind of summarizes Capstone is that we have students with lots of different majors, experiences, interests, emphases areas, and all that kind of stuff. So again, just like Frederick, I want to congratulate both Group 2 as well as Group 1 for a job well done. It's been really exciting to kind of hear about how your ideas have evolved, and then getting the opportunity to see over the last 2 weeks as you're not sleeping very much, trying to finish this up and share it with us. So congratulations, and I'll pass it on to you.
First, thank you all so much for being here. All of us, it's so good to see you here to support us with this here. To start, I want to start with a quote that's kind of been a guiding light for this part of the company. And it states, the UX designer is concerned with the entire process of acquiring, integrating a product, including aspects of branding, usability, and function. So with this project, I partnered with Project, which is a phone-powered rate pricing and banking that has been well experienced through the I'm talking with them, I was asking the question, how can UX design apply to what they're doing? And so in talking with them, I was saying, what are some of the issues they're facing with your company right now? They said they had two big issues that really kind of affected their company. And that was both their brand and the website. And so I was like, okay. So in regards to their brand, they had issues with mostly representation and kind of showcasing a diverse group to what they serve. In regards to the website, it just kind of had some blurry information. It was kind of was not a great user experience with the website. So with that, I found out some research. I actually used a focus group alongside the student sitting peers, kind of dive into kind of what can we do to address some of the issues. So first, in regards to the brand, so to focus on the brand first, kind of how I started out was the colors. The previous website, they kind of had sort of rashes to them. So with the colors, I definitely wanted to introduce some softer pastel tones, really have some warmer tones, especially the red push through, to have some more kind of spotlighting of the information. In regards to the actual visual website, kind of really issue regarding visibility of different genders and especially in regards to the LGBT+ community. So with those visuals, I wanted to kind of have a more subtle contour kind of go through those aspects and really highlight the emotions you see within those within the site. And then in regards to the actual kind of usability aspect of user experience, I created the website two separate paths. First path kind of is more just kind of general information, where they're located, what kind of services that they offer. But the second group is more so geared toward the recruiting process. So if you think if you've just been insulted or being stopped, not really in the right headspace to access the right information. So basically having that path there, which break down in more simple terms. During crisis, what do you need? What are your next steps? How do you address this? I would say the thing that's most impactful about this project is I've kind of worn many hats with it. I've been the designer, of course, but I've also acted as kind of the project manager, market researcher, and through all those, I kind of very much kind of figure out what it means to be a designer, how to kind of balance those things when you're really kind of in the field. Apparently, it's kind of very much like a real world project and has a kind of real world impact. Just trying to wrap up, I kind of want to start with some thank yous. First, mostly to Christine herself. She's been a valuable mentor and advisor at college. With Sydney Pierce, helped conduct market research with me. Alongside Dr. Liz Alexander, who helped research stuff, and just all of that faculty who's helped with this process. I'm honored to be.
Happens, Ralph.
What?
Now what happens?
Oh, we want to take.
Okay. All right.
Thank you all for coming today. My name is Kate Dolan. I'm a senior EFA major with emphasis in sculpture. This body of work began in Matt Smith's Places practice class. We were assigned a historic location to base the sculpture on. Thankfully, I was given the home of Mrs. Memphis Tennessee Garrison and began building a sculpture inspired by the home center. Upon going to the location, I saw that it was in the process of being restored to a museum through the partnership with the Memorial Foundation. Through inspiration and commitment to the project, I was able to join in on these operations, and I am now committed. For my capstone experience, I wanted to prompt the town of Pennington to remember who Mrs. Garrison was and what she stands for. Memphis Tennessee Garrison was the daughter and granddaughter of former slaves. She moved to McDowell County at a young age and grew up in the town of Gary. She grew up surrounded by Black workers that were the backbone of West Virginia's early mining workforce. These workers and their families created communities that became the center of Black political activity. Mrs. Garrison was the heart of these efforts, serving as the vice president of the National Board of the NAACP at the height of the civil rights movement. She was a political leader at a time when women's leadership was rarely, if ever, acknowledged. The thing that inspired me the most about Mrs. Garrison was that she saw any small opening for resistance, any little way in for change, and she maximized it. The NAACP was her lifelong passion. It was a way to choke the system and demand justice. Her true love, though, was teaching. She taught full-time for 50 years, and she was the first woman to be elected president of the West Virginia State Teachers Association. She understood that training the next generation for leadership was a remarkable contribution. Teachers like her laid the groundwork in Black communities for the next generation of young Black leaders who stepped forward in the late 1950s and 1960s. In 1952, she moved to Huntington at 1701 10th Avenue, where she housed meetings to the NAACP. It's only a few blocks away from Marshall's main campus. She lived there for more than 30 years until she passed away in 1988. According to Owens Brown, president of the West Virginia State NAACP, her house serves as an institution that validates Huntington's Black community and is a remembrance of the work and activism. When I first went to the house, I was especially intrigued by an oddly-shaped bookcase in the center of the home, as well as many, many layers of glowing wallpaper and paint, and I've tried to replicate that here in the gallery. The wallpaper, paint, and flooring from the house are used in the house sculpture, and the walls, if you come on the side, rather than you can see this spiral from the original site. The curtain, coat hanger, and closet door are from the site as well. I have constructed my own version of the bookcase through antique wood, behind its odd shape. Through Marshall's Special Collections Department, I found old photographs of Memphis and audio from 1968. That's what you were hearing around the sculpture. And the photos are all displayed in the bookshelf. She kind of credits the library as being the way to know and to think. When she was a child helping her mother clean houses for a living, she was tasked with dusting the library and cleaning the house. But rather than work, she would sit there for hours and hours to read entire books. She said that she would read anything she could get her hands on, so long as she didn't need to get a chair and climb to the top of it. She would read English literature and fairy tales, learning different stories to pass on to other children in the neighborhood. Eventually, she would learn to teach her own mother how to read. She credits books and that library specifically as being the reason why she was able to have a good life. It's shocking to me that it's 2021 and the Appalachian stereotype is alive and thriving. They don't know about people with lives like Memphis Garrison. It's sad that we don't. It's sad that the education system doesn't teach us anything about prominent Black women. The only name that we know is Rosa Parks, and that is not enough. This exhibition is the first place this work is exhibited, but it will not be the last. I hope that this body of work will continue to grow and flourish elsewhere in our collection. I anticipate some of these works having a permanent home in the museum once it's complete. I want more people to read the biography of Memphis Tennessee Garrison, the remarkable story of the Black Appalachian woman, and learn the name of Memphis Tennessee Garrison. Thank you to Matt, Laura, Frederick, Jamie, and a handful of others. You all are the backbone of my college experience, and I will never be able to thank you enough for all that you've taught me, not just about art, but about life. I would not be the person that I am today without you. Thank you to my mom and dad and my girlfriend for always supporting me along the way. There is one person that I wish was here. My sister Tara passed away this past summer, and she went to every gallery that I was featured on this campus. But I know she's in the spirit. Well, I feel the absence of a member of my own family, and I know it can't be replaced. I am grateful to have been a second family, and I will never. I hope we will be friends. Thank you so much. I'll pass it on.
We got a request for louder audio. So as much volume as you can give us.
Okay. Thank you all for coming out tonight. My name is Derek. I'm getting my Bachelor's of Arts degree here at Marshall University. And although I don't have an emphasis over the years, I got the privilege to practice different mediums, and I've learned that my best works are with visual art. One thing about me is that I suffer from anxiety and depression, and Marshall has taught me how to express my feelings through my artwork. So as a coping mechanism, I write poetry and I create art to express how I feel. And I say all this because I incorporate my coping skills within my capstone. While feeling depressed or anxious, my emotions can range from sadness to hopelessness to aggravation to anger. That's why each piece you see is very distinctive from one another, because it's supposed to represent the different stages of what depression looks like to me. I wanted to incorporate my writing within my capstone because one thing that helped me keep going was to read other people's writing, hear other people's words, and they would express the same things that I was feeling, and it helped me realize that I wasn't alone. Hopefully I can return the favor by paying it forward and helping other people realize that they're not alone as well. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for being for being interested through my following this year. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it.
Now, next, we are going to hear from Kelly Catler. And Kelly is the student I told you about who can't be here tonight, but she's here. Kelly, would you unmute yourself?
Hello.
There she is.
Hi, Kelly.
All right. And Kelly, you can't see it, but we're standing in your show right now.
Okay.
So this is Kelly Catler's work. Kelly?
Hi, I'm Kelly Catler. I am a BFA major with an emphasis in graphic design and a minor in marketing, graduating next month, hopefully. And I've always just loved working with all sorts of media, both digital and traditional, and learning new techniques. This whole experience at Marshall has been amazing. I'll come back to that, but so for just real quick, I would like everyone to take a moment and think of a fond memory that is in some way related to books. Does anybody remember the first time they read a book on their own? You know, that proud moment that you knew you could do it all by yourself? Or how about the excitement of when it was time to go to the rug and sit crisscross applesauce while your teacher read a book aloud to the class? Or getting your first library card, or reading your first chapter book, snuggling up with a blanket on a cold day and a good book, or the smell of book pages. I'm asking for you to recall on these feelings or memories because that is essentially what my exhibition is meant to tap into. I know that I have many fond memories of reading and books, and that is in part because of my upbringing, surrounded by educators and people who value knowledge of all kinds. But I designed the pieces you see here with the intention of stirring some of those same feelings, emphasizing the excitement and fun that reading can be, in the hopes of encouraging the viewers to re-engage with literacy with a fresh perspective. So I channeled classroom vibes with the rug and the found alphabet photo placement. Remember those long ABC posters hung above the chalkboard or whiteboard that show you how to draw your letters. The letter forms themselves were the result of an exercise in seeing. So the images are framed to accentuate the letter form of the subjects, which are all items in place as they were found in my house during the pandemic, of course. The alphabet is obviously an integral part of learning how to read and write. So finding letter forms and in objects around the house or out in the world is a fun way to practice seeing. It forces you to look at more than just an object for what it is, but also for the shape of it, the space around it, and the way these interact with other elements of their environment. The ceramic figures on the bookshelf over there are engaging with the books physically as if they are kids on a playground. So, and then the piece over here on reading is life is a literal physical embodiment of the title. The two words literally are connected and are one. So they can also be handled and play with like children's, like the ABC blocks, and just, you can see how many words you can find. And then the chair, my prototype of a chair that I designed in 3D software specifically for me to read in. I wanted to make a place to read that I could sit in multiple different positions, which would allow me to find a really comfortable position that I could get cozy and settle in for an extended reading session. But overall, I feel like my exhibition kind of is a reflection of, the wonderful program here at Marshall, just with all the different things that you can learn and ways you can, realize your art. I truly have enjoyed all my classes and all my time here. And so I just want to thank all of you, all the faculty. Everybody's been amazing. Sandra being my mentor through this, Jamie for helping with setting everything up in the gallery, and all of you people, the students, and everybody else who helped me to get it all installed, and all of the other students who have really, accepted me, even though I am probably old enough to be most of their mothers. But it truly has been a wonderful experience, and I'm just so grateful to have been able to participate. I wish I could be there in person, but unfortunately life had other plans for me. But we hope you enjoy our show. Stay safe, and thank you all for coming. Oh, and thank my family, sorry.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, let's see. What time is it? Anybody know? 6:06. 6:06. Oh, we have some time. Does anyone have any questions for our artists? Those of you on Zoom, if you have questions, Kelly, you look like you have a question.
I was just wondering if you could show my my exhibit too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me turn this around. Yes. So for everyone on Zoom, I give you a quick tour of Kelly's work. You see the letters that she was talking about up there. I'm sorry they're so far away. And her beautiful chair and the rug with books on it. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Sure, you're welcome. Okay. Now, so Zoom, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. And then for the rest of you, do you have any questions for our artists? You didn't know that this was going to happen. So All right. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for being here tonight and for supporting the artists. It really means a lot to us. So enjoy the rest of the show. We're open till 6:30. So you can ask your questions of the artists in person. All right.
And there's snacks.
Yeah, there are some snacks. Yeah. Right. And thank you everyone so much for being here. Thank you, Kelly. We're sending you hugs from a distance.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good night, everyone.